You don't get to have it both ways. You either commit yourself fully with absolute focus and unbreakable determination, or you accept that you will never be great. There is no alternative. There is no cheat code. There is no shortcut. You are either all in or you are out. There is no middle ground in life. There never was. You're either all in, fully committed to your vision, or you're standing on the sidelines watching real men take what could have been yours. And the truth, nobody respects the guy who plays it safe. Nobody admires the man who dabbles, who hesitates, who refuses to bet on himself. The world isn't built for the half-hearted. You either put everything on the line, give your blood, sweat, and soul to your mission, or you accept mediocrity and live with the pain of knowing you had a chance, but you were too weak to take it. Every second you spend in hesitation is another second lost to the man who is willing to suffer. The one who grinds in silence while you overthink. The one who embraces the struggle while you seek comfort. The one who has already decided he will win at all costs. And when the time comes for rewards to be handed out, you will watch him rise while you sit there with nothing, wondering what the hell happened. So I'm going to ask you once, and I need you to answer with absolute clarity. Are you all in or are you out? No more trying, no more excuses, no more one day. That time is past. The decision is now. Look at the life you have right now. Look at the money in your bank account, the shape of your body, the direction of your future. You are exactly where you deserve to be. Not where you wish you were, not where you think you should be, exactly where your actions have placed you. Because life doesn't give handouts, doesn't reward intentions, doesn't care about potential, it cares about execution. It cares about what you are willing to sacrifice today so that you can dominate tomorrow. Most men fail because they refuse to commit. They want the rewards, but they aren't willing to bleed for them. They want to be rich, but they still sleep in. They want to be powerful, but they can't even control their own habits. They want to be respected, but they fold under the slightest pressure. And then they sit there complaining, blaming the world, acting like the universe is somehow responsible for their lack of results. No, brother, it's you. It has always been you. Because deep down, you haven't truly decided, you haven't drawn the line and said, I will do whatever it takes, no matter what. The truth is, success is a game of sacrifice. The men who win are the ones who pay the price up front. They give up their nights, their weekends, their comfort. They walk into the fire knowing it's going to burn, knowing it's going to hurt, but they go anyway because they understand the simple rule of life. Suffer now, thrive later. Pay today, play tomorrow. The weak, they avoid the pain. They cling to comfort like a child clings to his mother's leg, terrified of stepping into the unknown. And because of that fear, that hesitation, that pathetic attachment to security, they stay broke. They stay weak, they stay invisible. You tell yourself you want success, but do you actually live like it? Are you working like your life depends on it? Are you attacking your goals with the same hunger as a man who has nothing left to lose? Or are you lying to yourself, convincing yourself that someday, when the timing is right, when the stars align, when life hands you an opportunity on a silver platter, you'll finally take action? Because let me tell you something, that moment will never come. Nobody is coming to save you. No miracle is going to fall from the sky. There is no perfect time. There is only right now. The men who succeed in life aren't necessarily the smartest. They aren't the most talented. They aren't the ones who had it easy. They are simply the ones who went all in while everyone else hesitated. While you were waiting for motivation, they were grinding, pushing, suffering, and building themselves into unstoppable machines. And now when you see them at the top living the life you want, you tell yourself they got lucky? No, they earned it. You can either be the man who makes things happen or you can be the man who watches things happen. And let me warn you, the second option is far more painful in the long run because regret will haunt you for the rest of your life. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. And if you keep playing small, if you keep making excuses, if you keep operating at 50%, you are guaranteeing yourself a future of looking back and wondering, what if I had gone all in? What if I had truly given it everything? There is no success. There is no power without discipline. You don't get to have it both ways. You either commit yourself fully with absolute focus and unbreakable determination, or you accept that you will never be great. There is no alternative. There is no cheat code. There is no shortcut. You are either all in or you are out. And if you're out, step aside. Because the men who are truly committed, the ones who have made the decision to dominate, we don't have time for the weak. We don't have time for the hesitant. We don't have time for the ones who say they want it but refuse to suffer for it. This world belongs to those who take it. And if you're not willing to do that, then you will live your life on the sidelines, watching as others take everything you ever wanted, knowing deep down that you could have had it too. If only you had the balls to go all in I said this a lot of times in many podcasts, but I say that again. No exceptional person ever lived like an average person. Most of you are too soft to win. You want success, but you refuse to suffer for it. You want wealth, but you refuse to bleed for it. You want to dominate, but the second things get hard, you fold. That's why you lose. The world isn't built for the weak. It rewards the ruthless, the disciplined, the ones who can endure pain while everyone else quits. You can either sacrifice now or be a slave forever. Your choice. Listen, there is no joy without pain. You see the mansions, the supercars, the respect, and you want it, but you refuse to give up the things that are keeping you weak. That's the problem. That's why you're losing. And unless you wake up, unless you make the decision to suffer for your future instead of suffering from regret, you will never escape this miserable loop of failure. But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. It doesn't have to be this way. You can change. You can rewrite your destiny starting today. You don't have to stay stuck. But the price of freedom is sacrifice. And most of you are unwilling to pay. You say you want to be rich, but you waste time watching TV, scrolling social media, chasing temporary pleasure. You say you want to be strong, but the gym is too hard, so you stay weak. You say you want respect, but you refuse to earn it. Everything you want is right in front of you, but it demands something in return. It demands your time, your energy, your discipline. It demands that you let go of the life that's keeping you broke, that you sacrifice your comfort to build something greater. And most of you won't do it. You'll choose the easy way out, the path of least resistance. And when you wake up years from now, broke, alone, full of regret, you'll realize the truth. You were your own worst enemy all along. But the strong ones, the real ones, they understand something different. They know that pain is temporary, but power is forever. They know that every moment of sacrifice, every late night, every early morning, every time they push through exhaustion, it all adds up. It builds them into something unstoppable. They don't look for the easy way. They embrace the hard way because they know the hard way is where champions are made. They know that while the weak are wasting their lives on distractions, the disciplined are building empires. They see the bigger picture. They see that every moment of suffering today is an investment in domination tomorrow. That's why they succeed. That's why they rise while others fall. That's why they become legends. You have a choice. Right now in this moment, you can decide to change. You can decide that you will no longer be controlled by laziness, by fear, by the illusion of comfort. You can decide to step into the fire, to embrace the grind, to sacrifice everything that is holding you back, and finally become the person you were meant to be. Because let me tell you something, if you don't make that choice, someone else will. Someone out there right now is putting in the work while you hesitate. Someone else is outworking you, outsmarting you, outdisciplining you. And in the future, when they're at the top, when they're living the life you always dreamed of, you'll realize that it could have been you, but you were too weak to claim it. Or you can be the one who steps up. You can be the one who sacrifices today so you can dominate tomorrow. You can be the one who looks back in 10 years and says, I did it. I built my empire. I earned my freedom. I became the man I was destined to be. But you won't get there by accident. You won't stumble into success. You have to fight for it. You have to give up everything that is making you weak. You have to endure day after day until you are too powerful to be stopped. The pain is temporary, the struggle is temporary, but the rewards, they last forever. The suffering you endure now will become your greatest weapon, your greatest advantage. While others break under pressure, you will rise. While others beg for shortcuts, you will keep pushing forward. While others waste their lives, you will be forging your legacy. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who sacrifice today to dominate tomorrow, and those who avoid sacrifice and suffer forever. Which one are you going to be? Let me tell you something about life. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're broke, if you're struggling. It doesn't care if you had a bad childhood, if people doubted you, if you feel like the world is against you. Life doesn't slow down for you. It keeps moving. And the only people who survive, the only people who rise to the top are the ones who decide to fight back. I know because I've been there. I've stood at the bottom, looking up with nothing in my pocket and no one to call for help. I felt that pressure, that pain, that overwhelming feeling that maybe I wasn't enough. But do you know what I did? I sacrificed. I threw away every weakness, every excuse, every habit that was holding me back. And I committed myself to one thing: winning at all costs. Because that's the difference between winners and losers. Losers hold on to their old lives, their old habits, their old comforts. Winners burn the bridge behind them so they can never go back. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to give up who you are today to become who you need to be tomorrow, you will never make it.
How many people out there have such ridiculous sums of money, truly ridiculous sums of money? There are so many rich people in the world, and it's kind of like your reality is based on it's the matrix, right? If you're broke, everyone's broke. If you're rich, everyone's rich. And a lot of people have this separation. I was lucky to live in both worlds.
They sold you a script. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and you followed it like a good little worker, never questioning why the people giving you advice were never rich themselves. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. The system was never meant to make you wealthy. It was built to make sure you stay exactly where you are, trapped, struggling, and too distracted to ever break free. And if you don't wake up now, if you don't take control of your life right this second, you will wake up 20 years from now in the exact same place, wondering why nothing ever changed. Money is not what you think it is. It's not about hard work. It's not about saving. It's not even about intelligence. It's about control. The rich don't get rich by working jobs. They don't get rich by clocking in and out. They don't get rich by following the rules. They get rich because they own the system that you are trapped in. They create the rules, manipulate the game, and position themselves so that no matter what happens, whether the economy collapses, inflation skyrockets, or businesses fail, they still win. They don't play by the same rules as you. While you're struggling to make ends meet, they are multiplying their wealth effortlessly because they understand something you don't. Money is a tool, not a reward. The biggest lie you've been told is that you have to earn money. The truth is, money is never earned. It is created, moved, and manipulated. The rich do not work for a paycheck. They build systems that print money for them. They don't trade their time for wages. They invest in assets that grow while they sleep. You, on the other hand, spend your life chasing money instead of making it work for you. You think your salary is proof that you're doing well, but in reality, it's proof that you are still a pawn in someone else's game. If your income stops the moment you stop working, you are not rich. You are a slave to your next paycheck. The rich understand that real wealth comes from ownership. They don't waste their energy working to increase their salaries. They focus on owning assets, businesses, and investments that generate income without their direct involvement. When you work a job, your earning potential is capped by your salary. But when you own a business, an investment, or a revenue-generating asset, your wealth is uncapped. There is no limit to how much money you can make because your income is not tied to the hours you put in. It is tied to the systems you control. Debt is another weapon the rich use to stay ahead while the poor drown in it. They don't avoid debt, they leverage it. They borrow money to buy appreciating assets while you borrow money to buy things that lose value. They take loans to acquire real estate, invest in businesses, and multiply their capital while you take loans to buy cars, phones, and vacations that keep you trapped in an endless cycle. They understand that debt, when used correctly, is a tool for wealth creation, not a burden. Meanwhile, you are taught to fear it. You're told to stay out of debt, to pay everything off, to live within your means. And so you stay small while they expand their wealth using money that isn't even theirs. Taxes are another game you were never taught how to play. The rich don't pay high taxes. They don't do it illegally. They simply understand the rules better than you. They set up corporations, trusts, and offshore accounts that allow them to legally avoid taxes while you give away a massive chunk of your paycheck every year without question. Every dollar you earn is taxed before it even reaches your hands, and then you're taxed again when you spend it. Meanwhile, the rich structure their finances so that their money is taxed as little as possible. They reinvest their profits, use loopholes, and structure their wealth in a way that ensures they keep what they earn while you are left with the scraps. The stock market, real estate, cryptocurrency, these aren't just investments for the rich. They are weapons. They don't just put money into these things for fun. They do it because they know that money sitting in a bank account is money that is dying. Inflation erodes the value of cash every single year. So while you feel safe stacking money in a savings account, they are moving their wealth into places where it can grow. They understand that money has to be in motion to increase. That's why they buy stocks, properties, businesses. They take money and put it into things that generate more money. You, on the other hand, hold on to your money out of fear, and that's exactly why you will never have more of it. The entire system is set up so that the rich will always stay rich and the poor will always stay poor. It's not an accident. It's not bad luck. It's designed that way. Every system in place, the education system, the corporate world, the banking industry, is built to ensure that wealth stays at the top while you fight for crumbs. The reason the wealth gap keeps increasing isn't because rich people are just working harder than you. It's because they have access to knowledge and tools that you were never given. And yet, even when the truth is in front of you, most people refuse to see it. They defend the system. They believe that if they just work a little harder, save a little more, stay at their job a little longer, things will get better. They won't. You cannot outwork a broken system. You cannot save your way to wealth when the money you're saving is being devalued every year. You cannot retire comfortably when the people in power are making sure your earnings are drained through taxes, inflation, and debt.